You're watching your local news leader. This is a special edition of WCIA 3 News at 10. Your local election headquarters.
It is election night. Voters all across central Illinois went to the polls to vote for mayors, city council members, as well as referendums. Good evening. I'm Jessica Coons.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe in for Paul. We're going to get to those election results in a moment. But first, we have breaking news tonight. A large police presence in Urbana.
It is on Scottswood near Oregon. We have a crew out there. They talked with neighbors who heard about 10 gunshots in that area. There are about 7 police vehicles out there between both the Urbana Police Department and the Champaign County Sheriff's Department. They are searching for shell casings at homes in that area. Roads are blocked off. Neighbors on edge there tonight. They did start to put up crime scene tape just a little bit ago. We will continue to keep you updated on this developing situation in Urbana.
All right, now back to the consolidated election. It happens on the first Tuesday in April. That is today. One of the biggest decisions in Champaign County. Should the county get rid of the Recorder of Deeds office? That office would roll into the county clerk's office. And we're going to show you the vote totals that we have so far. And they are very low. We only have 1% of the precincts in, and we have 54% of the votes so far voting yes. Joining me live in our newsroom, WCIA 3's Jen Lask. Jen, we have been waiting all night for these numbers from Champaign County. What's going on with those results?
Well, they've been having some issues with the website throughout the evening. Now, what we know so far is that the returns are now trickling in slowly. They are aware, again, that the site isn't working. But as those numbers come in, one of the other issues that they're noticing is that it's not exactly matching some of the precinct summaries. They've released one result so far. Again, we are waiting for some of the others. That's why the returns are so slow there, and you're only seeing that 1% for the county recorder. Now, they had initially assumed the delay might have been because of precincts not reporting. They are working on this, and we will keep you updated. As for that county recorder position, though, a county officials say none of the services would be interrupted. Staff would stay in place. The only thing that would be changing is that the Recorder of Deeds, which is Mike Ingram right now, that position would cease to exist if voters choose to get rid of the recorder position, and it would instead go to County Clerk Aaron Ammons, who says regardless of what voters choose, he's happy to work on that either way. Now, if the recorder position is eliminated, it wouldn't happen overnight. It would be in place until the end of December this year. So we're going to keep you updated on some of those county totals coming in from Champaign and what's going on there. We are in touch with the county clerk's office. We'll bring you the latest on that. But for now, live in the newsroom, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Jen, thank you.
There are several city council seats up for grabs in Champaign. One of those is in District 1. We do have some numbers here, but keep in mind how low they are. Clarissa Nickerson Foreman trying to keep her seat in this district. 17% of precincts reporting, just 6 votes total here. So a split vote right now, but of course a lot of numbers still to come in here. In District 4, Greg Stock, the incumbent, trying to keep his seat against Michael Fulmer. 7% of precincts reporting right now. Michael Fulmer in the lead with 55% of the vote, but again, we'll keep an eye on those races in Champaign County.
The Urbana City Council also has 3 districts up for grabs. In Ward 2, there will be a new face, Colin Dodson and Christopher Evans right now, and we're still waiting for those results, but we can now go to Ward 4. We've got Bill Brown, who is not seeking re-election. We have Jaya Colasetti against Mike KOBEL, the retired firefighter, and right now with just 17% of the precincts in, Jaya Colasetti is leading this race. Oh, and we do have numbers in Ward 6. We have a quarter of the precincts in, and we have Grace Wilkin right now. She is ahead of Bill Colbrook. He's the only Republican on the Urbana City Council, and right now that EIU grad student is ahead in this race. In Decatur, there are also 3 city council seats that are open.
6 people were trying to get those positions. We have some results here tonight. Taking a look, we have our winners, 100% of precincts in. Chuck Kuhl, David Horn, and Ed Culp will be on city council in Decatur. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is standing by live in Decatur. Jamie, 2 of tonight's winners have held these positions before.
That's right, Jen, and there are a lot of issues that the winners plan on addressing. Some of them include community revitalization, job creation, public safety, to just name a few of them. Two of the candidates who have won, like you said, have served on city council before. They both served 4 years. The other candidate, Ed Culp, ran for the first time this election and won. The Macon County Clerk says voter turnout to this election was low, and because of that low turnout, it was easy to get voters in and out of the polling places. Live in Decatur, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Yeah, we saw that low voter turnout in other areas as well. Jamie, thank you.
In Danville, more city council seats in the 3rd Ward. Heidi Purtell and DAMARA Joyner battling it out right now. Heidi Purtell is ahead in this race with 56% of the vote. We have half of the precincts reporting. In the 4th Ward, SHARON McMahon, the incumbent, running for a 5th term on council, and with half of the precincts in right now, she is behind in this race. Trisha Teague is leading her with 59% of the vote. In Ward 6, the incumbent, Jim Pritchard, appointed just in 2019, with again half of the votes in there in Vermilion County. We've got 54% of the vote he has over Alan Shepard. And in Ward 7, Darren York, another incumbent in office just since January. We are still waiting for votes in that race.
In Mattoon, there will be a new mayor. Sandra Graven has been serving as the acting mayor. On the ballot, we have 4 people, and it looks like we do have a winner in this race. Rick Hall will take over the position as Mattoon mayor with 40% of the vote. In Watseka, John Allhands, the incumbent, looking to keep his position, and he will, with 45% of the vote, winning the race there in Watseka.
To Hoopeston, Bill Cruisenberry has been mayor for 3 terms, and he just earned another one. He defeats Mike Bane, the bus driver, today with 55% of the vote. To Douglas County and Arcola, a 4-way race. As current mayor Larry Ferguson not running, this is unusual there in Arcola. Usually they have someone just running unopposed, but it was a 4-way race, and Jesus Garza, he beats the entire, all the people running today with 42% of the votes there. In Tilton, David Phillips has been mayor for 20 years, and he'll keep his job. He beat the Tilton Police Chief, David Cornett, 83% to 17% of the votes.
Moving to Jacksonville, Andy Ezzard has served as mayor there since 2009, and he will remain mayor. He had a big lead tonight over Nicole Riley, winning with 82% of the vote. And in Taylorville, Bruce Berry looking for a new term, and he will get that, winning his race with 63% of the vote in Taylorville.
Staying in Christian County, voters deciding on a 1% sales tax. It would generate more than $2.3 million a year to pay for upgrades to the jail and the sheriff's office. Let's take a look at those numbers. And this is getting voted down there in Christian County. Overwhelmingly, 78% saying they do not want their taxes going up.
Up next, flooding is a problem for 2 schools in one district. So that district is asking voters for $17 million to fix the problem.
Plus, the coronavirus made it a contentious year in the classroom. But did voters register their anger at the polls?
by Ryan Dallas Real Estate. Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Jessica Coons, and Kevin Lighty. This is a special edition of WCIA 3 News at 10, your local election headquarters.
In Iroquois County, they're looking to build a new school in Watseka.
They would close 2 schools that are in a floodplain, but they need more than $17 million to do it. Are voters on board with the property tax hike? And that is a yes. 78% saying they want their taxes to go up to get those schools moved. Live from Watseka, WCIA 3's Abigail Metch. Parents there, families there have to be happy with these results.
They truly are. I talked to some board members. They told me that this is a project that was 2 years in the making. While I was talking to them, people kept coming up and congratulating them. The referendum will be funded by both a $50 million FEMA grant and $17 million taxpayer dollars. Board members say this tax increase will be worthwhile.
It's a great thing for our education system. It's a great thing for our community, our town. It gets everything out of the floodplain, you know, all of our education spaces, and I couldn't be happier.
The next step is to work with architects to design the new school building. In Watseka, Abigail Metch, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Abigail, thank you so much. Now, in Logan County, there was a vote to let school districts use the sales tax, and that also passed by a margin of 70% to 30%.
Moving now to Champaign County in Sidney, Jason Arrowsmith looking for another term as the leader of Sidney, and he will get that next term. He wins tonight's race with 65% of the vote over Brett Harris's 35%. In Homer, Raymond Cunningham Jr. looking to keep his seat, and he will not. Jeremy Richards winning this race with 61% of the vote in Homer.
There were a number of school board races across the area. Many wondered if those would be affected by the pandemic. Live from our Capitol Bureau is WCIA 3's Mark Maxwell. So, Mark, do you think the possible loss of a year of education swayed voters?
Jennifer, it certainly drove turnout, and it drove the debate leading up to these school board races across the state. In districts where there was hot debate, many voters or parents who were concerned maybe the board members were dragging their feet in returning to a full classroom or bringing kids back in the class. That's where we saw a number of challengers coming into the race, trying to throw their hat into the ring. There are some examples of some of those incumbent members losing. For example, here in Sangamon County in Ball Chatham, the only incumbent on the ballot is right now trailing far behind the pack of new challengers, appears ready to be ousted. But up in Naperville, we're keeping an eye on the suburbs. A big, two of those big school districts, actually, where 3 incumbents in one district and a few others in another place appear on track to keep their seats. That's after coming under fire from a number of parents who felt they were taking too long to reopen the school district. One challenger in that district is poised for a win, but she's only replacing an outgoing, retiring incumbent. Here's why we're tracking this. Educators have been under the gun. It's been a lot of difficult decisions for them, especially the administrators this year, and they signaled we could see record turnover, change on the school board because a lot of members are retiring, and they feared that message, the anger could resonate and end up with a lot of incumbents leaving. In the suburbs, where many of those board members were more prone to say we're going to follow the science, we're going to take our time, we're going to err on the side of caution, it seems those incumbents are actually keeping their position. It's still early, but that would bode well for Governor Pritzker in the suburbs. That could spell well for him if that same public sentiment holds true through 2022. It's early. We're still kind of counting all these results, and man, there's a lot of school board candidates out there. But one good thing, a lot of those different candidates and voters told us tonight, it's good for voter turnout. It's good for engagement. More people are flexing their political muscles of democracy and getting involved in this process of running for public office and trying to make their neighborhood a better place. Jennifer?
Caring about those local issues. All right, Mark, thank you so much. And remember, for all of the results from today's election, just go to our website, WCIA.com.
One area was already hurting because of the pandemic. Now flames have destroyed several businesses there.
Plus, are warmer temperatures in the forecast or rain? Kevin's going to let us know.
free year and get
as easy as changing gears.
Get our 1025-hour lockdown package for $219 a month and 0 down.
Not too late for your furnace to run great. Call Castle, 217-352-2800. Castle Home Comfort, Heating and Cooling. CASTLE. Your home's comfort is our guarantee.
Now Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
A brief break from all of the election coverage to talk about this incredible weather. Wow. All right, we have to go back 165 days. Can you remember back what you were doing on October 22nd? That was the day we had 82, and the last time that we have seen an 80-degree day like we had today, 165 days ago. Very warm still tonight. Look at our temperature. It is 69 in Lincoln, Springfield, Jacksonville, and Effingham. Temperatures are really going to stay mild throughout today. Look at this. We're still in the upper 50s here tomorrow morning. It's going to be another kind of starting out nice for the day tomorrow, but we're going to see some rain move in. Here's the good news. We're seeing less of our wind gusts, so less of our boxes filled with the gusty winds, but that's going to change again. We're going to see the winds come back tomorrow, 25, 30-mile-an-hour gusts. You know the drill. I feel like I was just saying this earlier today, how it feels like every single day it's like windy around here, right? And that has definitely been the case over the last several weeks. Let's take you to Ridge Farm. How about a high of 76 tomorrow? Take the good with the bad. It's still going to be warm. The bad part will be the rain that is set to move in later tomorrow. 77 degrees. Now, I'm not going to rule out a few isolated showers in the morning, so let's show you this a little bit better with the future track. See some of that rain that came through early on? That's midday. That's a break, but the big area of rain, the bulk of the rain, that hits us tomorrow night, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Showers, a few thunderstorms around. We'll be watching out for that. The good news is we're really not concerned about severe weather. I still think we're going to see some thunderstorms, but yeah, I don't think you have to worry about, tornadoes and things like that. There's a marginal risk just out to our west. Just don't have all of those ingredients together to get a severe weather event to occur, but some thunderstorms definitely around. But here's the thing, it stays very wet and active, especially Saturday. If you've got plans Saturday, not looking great, because it looks like a pretty good chance of rain. Maybe squeezing out some more dry time later into the day on Sunday, but if, again, Saturday, I should say, it's going to be the day that you just might want to rethink some outdoor activities there. Rainfall amounts pushing an inch in some areas over the next week, but here comes the other big part to the weather story, the cooler air. Now, this is not drastically cold, but we're dropping a good 15 to 20 degrees from what we have been. So we go from a high of 80 today back down to a high of 60 on Saturday, and we're talking the 50s as we head into next week. 58 for tonight, mostly clear, mild and breezy. Tomorrow's high around 77 degrees with a few showers early on, the best chance of rain coming late. And here's your 7-day forecast with plenty of opportunities for that precipitation. Again, cooler, yes, we're in the 40s, but hey, we're not down to freezing. We're not going to be issuing any freeze warnings or frost advisories or things like that, but it is going to be cooler, nothing like the 80 we had today, but we were not supposed to be at 80 today. 81 is the record high. So we were definitely spoiled and blessed today.
You asked what we were doing on October 22nd.
Oh,
I looked it up.
Did you look
I
it
took
up?
a picture. I was reading outside. Beautiful sunshine. You see that?
Yeah, it had to have been 80 degrees.
October 22nd. It was
Wow.
nice.
This
Today
is
was
why
nice.
this is why we take pictures to
Yes.
remember when you bring it up. What were you doing on that date?
I
She's
expect
got the
a report
answer.
from you later.
All right, I'm going to take a picture of the both of you. This is what I was doing on this day. All right, thank you. She kicked and swung at an officer, the sentence that was handed down after she pleaded guilty.
Plus this.
It is just so sad. I mean, people like me, born and raised here,
This is our town square.
And much of it is now gone, where fire destroyed several businesses.
The news continues here on WCIA 3, your local news leader.
An entire side of Pawnee's Village Square burned to the ground today.
The 100-year-old buildings caught fire, one after another, as firefighters tried to stop the flames. Village officials say because of the fire, there was no water to the town, and a boil order has been issued until it returns. Several businesses caught fire, like we said, including several bars. The fire started at one of them, Copperhead Bar. That opened just before the pandemic started.
We have an update for you tonight. 22-year-old Aaliyah Lewis was given probation today after pleading guilty to resisting a police officer. The Champaign County State's attorney says Lewis admitted that last April, she, quote, kicked and swung at an Urbana sergeant, causing him to break his thumb. This happened during a shots fired investigation. Lewis will serve 1.5 years of probation and will have to finish 100 hours of public service.
Across the state, more than 2,900 new cases COVID-19 were announced. 13 more people have died. More than 1,600 people are in the hospital. Positivity rate is still at 4.5%. As for vaccinations, more than 95,000 people got the shot yesterday. Our 7-day average is nearly 107,000. We are slowly approaching a fifth of the entire state being vaccinated.
Vice President Kamala Harris made a stop in Illinois today. She visited a COVID vaccination site in Chicago. That location is focused on vaccinating union workers. Several state leaders, including the governor, were there as well. Harris praised union members for standing together and getting vaccinated and urged them to talk to their friends, family, and coworkers about getting their shots.
Coming up, we're going to recap the night's biggest races.
That includes one school district that was looking for millions to build a new school. We'll have an update.
WCIA 3 News is brought to you by Stouts Building Services.
Save big money in your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. Keep your home dry and protect your belongings this spring with pumps and accessories. Menards has a huge selection of pumps for
News is brought to you by Busey Bank.
Election results are still slowly coming in Champaign County. We do have an update.
That's right. Should Champaign County get rid of the Recorder of Deeds office? And this is tightening now with 34% of the precincts in. The yes votes ahead 52% to 48%. And live in our newsroom, WCIA 3's Jen Last. Jen, so still having issues with their website. What's going on?
Well, I just spoke with County Clerk Aaron Ammons, who says that this is something very peculiar. That was the word he used, because up until 7 p.m. tonight, when the polling sites closed, their website had been working fine, so they have been continuing to try and work on that. They just released 2 more waves of summaries, so they now have 3 waves of summaries total. They are still working on getting the precinct results uploaded from Mahomet and Rantoul, several of the sites there, but they do say that the precincts are coming back in. They are uploading those. They have the 10 early voting locations being loaded as well, and the vote by mail. He says the process that we're using right now is that they are going through all of the precincts. There's about 118 of those, and they are trying to work this out. They're investigating the issue as well with what happened with the website starting at 7 o'clock tonight. Again, he called this extremely peculiar. Now, we are expecting about 15 to 18,000 people total to be voting, so we are looking to see those numbers going up as we get the results in, but that is what they're expecting for the full county turnout, 15 to 18,000. We will continue to keep you updated on these results as they come in.
All right, Jen, thank you.
Let's take a look at a race in Decatur tonight. We have 3 winners for Decatur City Council, and 2 of those are incumbents. Chuck Kuhl and David Horn have both been on City Council. Ed Culp is the newcomer there in Decatur tonight.
And over in Watseka, lots of people celebrating there. It's not easy to get people to vote yes for taxes, but look at this vote. 962 of them voting this in. They're going to get $17 million to be able to build two new schools there in Watseka.
Of course, we still have a lot of races that need to get final results. As you heard, Champaign County still slowly coming in. We'll be updating those on WCIA.com as they come in. And of course, our morning show will have all of your election results as well.
All right, and one last check of the weather.
Hey, it's going to be another nice day tomorrow to start with. Still in the 70s. We're going to have some rain move in. Unfortunately, some storms around, but it's the perfect day for me. I love some thunderstorms when there's not severe weather. You don't have to worry about coming in and doing all that. So just some good old-fashioned thunderstorms.
The grass and the flowers need it.
They do need a little drink.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
All right, that does it for us tonight. We will see you tomorrow.
Good night.